it's not an easy decision. We've got two goalies that have shown that they can play extremely well, win hockey games. And we feel that no matter who we choose, they can win the game. When the pressure is not on them, that they have to make every single save to keep this close or keep us ahead. It'd be nice to get some goal support. And obviously last night was a case where we were having difficulty generating offense. We limited the opportunities. The quality of opportunities were really good. So there's no fault at Calvin at all on any of those goals. But yeah, it'd be nice to have that lead and play with that, knowing that they have to open things up when they're trailing.
So Kris Knoblauch has a decision to make indeed. Here's Martin Biron, our NHL analyst. Marty, we're going to let you make that decision for him right now. If you are Knoblauch, who do you go with for Game 6 with your season on the line? Stuart Skinner, who's been somewhat inconsistent throughout the postseason, or Calvin Pickard coming off the Game 5 loss? Who's your guy in Game 6?
So, Jay, on Friday night on the other Sports Center, I said I would go with Calvin Pickard for the rest of the playoffs. And now after Game 5, I'm switching it. I should never make those type of statements without getting all the information. And now I would go back to Stuart Skinner. As Kris Knoblauch said, I'm not blaming Calvin Pickard for the way Game 5 went, but I'm also not blaming Stuart Skinner for the way Game 4 went and Calvin Pickard going in. Look, the Florida Panthers have been able to expose Pickard for what he is, really. They made a move, they pulled him out of the crease, and they opened him up. Stuart Skinner has been the #1 goaltender for the Oilers all year. And for me, he is the better of the two goaltenders. When he's on, he's really on. So all you got to do is go to Stuart Skinner and say, listen, we have 2 games left to this season. We need 2 big wins, and we need you to put up the wall. We need you to be on. And maybe the last few days, being able to reset and practice, just like he did after being pulled in the LA series, coming back in the Vegas series, maybe that's going to trigger something that's going to put Stuart back on the on button, right? And putting the wall up. I'm looking at this situation, not an easy one, but I would go to Stuart Skinner because he is the better of the two, and he's been the #1 for the whole season.
Okay, one of the biggest reasons for Edmonton's goalie carousel, the team just struggles to start games. This team almost seems to like playing from behind. They're always playing from behind. They've allowed 11 first-period goals this series alone. What do you think the reason is behind all these slow starts for the Oilers?
So I'm going to go back to Zach Hyman. We all know he's not playing. He got hurt in the Dallas series in the conference finals. And now, if you are the Edmonton Oilers and Kris Knoblauch, you have to change your lineup constantly. You have to find what's working. And in the last 3 games, they have 0 first-period goal. Puck possession has been all the Florida Panthers. They've been attacking. Why? Because I feel like the Oilers don't have that chemistry. The Florida Panthers are not changing their lines. They're rolling the same 4 lines, the same 12 forwards, game in, game out. The Oilers have had to change their lines, change their forwards, bring in Podkolzin in, bring in Skinner, bring in Arvidsson, change Kapanen. It has been just a revolving door, and it's not Kris Knoblauch's fault. It's not the coaching staff's fault. It's just they're trying to find the right solution. And so if you and I, Jay, were on the line one game and not on the line the other, I'm expecting, well, somebody's going to be in that position behind the net. I'm going to cycle. And then we get back to the bench and we talk about it. And it takes a little bit of time to get on the same page. That has been the problem of the Oilers. They had 7 shots in the first period in Game 4, 3 shots in the first period in Game 5. It's the offense and the puck possession that's not there because they've had to change the lines and that they haven't been consistent in that matter. And it is shown in the offense on the ice.
And then as for the Panthers, Brad Marchand, who saw this coming at age 37? He's been the player of the Cup Final. 6 goals, 2 of them game winners. Marty, did you see this coming from the 37-year-old?
No, I did not see that coming, especially at the end of the season when he had only 2 goals and 2 assists in the last 10 games with the Florida Panthers. But the biggest thing with Brad Marchand is that if you raced all 40 players in the game, he'd probably be in the bottom half. He's not the fastest of skater, but he is extremely smart, extremely experienced. He's got great hockey sense. He's getting all these breakaways. Why? Because some would say he's cheating. You know what? I say he's anticipating the right way. He's playing so quick because he knows where to be and how to get there and be able to get behind the defense. face-off ready, being able to find that little daylight, those 3 steps that get him going, right? I think this is so important. So, yeah, if you said to Brad Marchand, go ahead and give me 1 lap. He wouldn't be the fastest player in this series, very far from it. But the way that he plays, knowing where the puck is going to be, knowing what his line mates, Lundell and Luostarinen, are going to do to get him open, I think this is fantastic. So, yeah, he's had a great series. And now it could be in the talk for Conn Smythe if Florida were able to close it out on Tuesday night.
Well, let's talk about that very quickly. I don't mean to put you on the spot because I know you got in trouble with the whole Pickard thing on the other show on Friday nights. I don't want. But by the way, that's the other show. That doesn't count for this show, Marty. So you don't have to worry about that here.
Yes.
But if Florida were to win the Cup on Tuesday night, would Marchand be your pick for Conn Smythe winner?
Bennett is number 1 right now. Marchand's a close second. If he was going out with 2 goals and an assist in Game 6 on Tuesday night, I think I'd have to look for Marchand, seeing that how he did in the biggest of games and how he performed in the final. But right now, Sam Bennett would still be number 1 on my list if Florida was able to close it out Tuesday night, which I don't want. I want the Oilers to take it to Game 7, and I want the Oilers to win it on home ice on Game 7 Friday night.
Yeah, let's see what happens Tuesday night. The Cup will be in the building in Sunrise, Florida. This is Martin Biron.